5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
This is the Ramble, and I am your host, Alex Bennett. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now I got it right. I had to start this all over again several times. Oh, boy. This is just, it's horrible. It just sucks. All right? Okay? I can't do any of this right anymore. It's partially, I think, because of this drug I'm taking, and it throws me off completely, and I really have to, I'm got to come in here before I do the show and practice the opening of the show, and then everything will be just fine. Well, we have a guest tonight, and a good one, and you people love her, and so do I, and we really care about her, too. Well, I'll introduce her right here. There she is, ready and willing to talk to an ex-husband.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Ronnie Bennett. How are you, Ronnie?
I'm good. How are you?
I've got a cold. See, I've got my tissues here. So if I blow my nose every now and then, folks, please excuse me. I don't wish to be rude, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. What about you, besides the cold?
Well, you know, colds when you get them are everything, right? When you don't have them, they're nothing. But here's how I don't understand how I have a cold. I don't go out. I don't meet people. So I don't shake hands. I don't get... So how did I get it?
It's in the air, darling.
I've been led to believe that's not true, that it's in the air.
Well, I'm not going to argue science with you. I have no idea. People get colds. What's the big deal?
They say you get it most from touching...
If you're healthy and you take care of yourself, you'll be fine.
When people shake hands, they catch it from shaking hands, because they might shake hands with somebody who has it.
You know, you're not a doctor.
No, I've read this. I've read all kinds of things that are bullshit, you know? And then I take a thing called Coldies. Have you ever heard of Coldies?
No.
Coldies is zinc. And zinc, supposedly, if you start... Yeah,
right. Well, we'll look that up in a few different places and get that many different answers.
Well, wait a minute. Look it up. You'll see. Zinc prevents...
Alex, and everybody who thinks there's a cure for something, there isn't. If there were, we'd know about it.
Yeah, well, the old line is we still have, with all the science, no cure for the common cold, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think the thing about being our age is that I haven't had a cold now in several years, but then I do have a few other problems. But,
yeah.
But I haven't had one in several years. But what I found was when I did get one,
yeah.
In the last, let's say, 15, 20 years, it's almost as bad as having the flu. It's so much harder than when I was a little kid and you had a runny nose. Your mom just handed you some Kleenex and sent you out the door to go play or wherever you were going.
Right.
And I don't remember feeling much about it, except it was irritating to have your nose run all the time. But they seem to hit so much harder when you're old.
Oh,
they just feel worse.
Well, I don't know. I just always never liked colds. Okay.
Does anybody?
Huh? No, I just never liked colds. I mean, they as opposed to anything else. I would rather get the flu, okay, than a cold. At least a flu, I'm laid up in bed, my bones ache, blah, 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 blah. With a cold...
I remember once with the flu, having my big toe. You know how your mind, you're just so out of it.
Yeah.
But I remember my big toe being the worst pain I had ever felt in my life. Just that one big toe.
Really, the one big toe. So, is it your experience talking to older people and dealing with older people that they do get colds more often or less often, or the severity is worse?
Not something I ever thought about.
Yeah, yeah. My wife, she gets a cold and it sticks around for, she says, 10 days. And it seems to be that way. Mine...
I don't know anything about them except they sometimes hit me and blow your nose a lot and it goes away.
I'm pretty good with a 3-day cold. 1 day, getting it. 2nd day, sneezing
Alex,
it. 3rd day,
please.
starts clearing up. What? Can't talk about colds?
What's to say?
I know you've got cancer. It's much more serious than a cold.
I wasn't even thinking about that. It's just, come on. Come on.
You know. But anyway.
I've got a note here. Or yesterday, I published a blog post about, since Bernie Sanders had a heart attack last week.
Yeah.
And so there's been an uptick on, everywhere of news people and opinion people and pundits going back and forth on should there be an age limit for running for president.
Mm-hmm.
And so I left it up to my readers yesterday. The first thing, I was surprised at how many people mentioned, well, we could give various psychological tests. We can come back to that. I was really surprised at that.
Yeah.
And then, given who my readers are, I didn't count up any numbers, but I think most of them felt, no, you don't want any tests, and others thought it was really important to have tests. So I'm wondering about you.
I don't know about tests exactly. I do think that Bernie.
I'm sorry, I put that wrong. I meant, should there be a cutoff age?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. I think.
Don't say that as if you're the expert. That's your opinion, okay?
No, I am the expert. No. Everybody, when they have an opinion, thinks they're the expert. Okay, so I just, for some reason, with Bernie Sanders as an example, I feel that he is at 78. If you figure he's going to run when he's 79, if he were the nominee, and then he's going to become president maybe when he's 80.
No. Where are you 2 years ahead? Next year we get a new president.
We get a new president, but we don't know. Is he 78 now? When's his birthday?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Come on.
Let me put it this way.
You're quibbling.
Okay,
over
let's say next year he's 79. Okay?
Yeah.
That means that we've got, at the end of his term, we're going to have an 83-year-old president. Do you feel comfortable with that? You're aging. I'm aging. I don't think at 83 I would be capable of running. Oh, I'm not capable of running this country.
That doesn't mean other people aren't.
I think it's good for violinists. I think it's good for orchestra conductors. Age.
It's not about that. It's about how we age. There are people in their 50s who are already decrepit, and there are people in their 90s who are way ahead of the rest of us. And it's you can't say everybody's 65 older. You can't think of or treat them or do anything with them that is the same.
Okay, but
60 to 70 or 75 is one age group. 75 to 80 or so is another, and so on. And some people do incredibly well in old age, and others don't. So you can't. I doubt anybody would be running for president who wasn't aging well, because they wouldn't be able to stand the campaign.
Do you think Bernie Sanders is aging well?
Yeah. I'm not much interested in him, so I don't pay close attention.
Yeah. How about Joe Biden?
Joe Biden. I think that he's been through a lot, but mostly I don't buy his lack of politics more than anything.
But that's
it's
not the
not
question.
About his age that I would vote yes or no. It's about how much I think he could, or wants to accomplish. It's in line with what I think needs to happen in the country.
We're talking about aging, though. You were saying that certain people, when they age, are much more alert and aware and everything like that. And I'm asking you, do you think that applies to Joe Biden? Do you think that applies to Bernie Sanders?
I don't know him. I've only seen him in videos.
I watch him, and I think I would not want him running the country. I just,
Why? Tell me what he has done that makes you question.
He doesn't seem like he has the, the job is very taxing. And that's why I think
Is it? Do you know that?
the job of president, I think it's very
As
taxing.
somebody somewhere said yesterday, I don't remember where I saw or heard this, was, the thing about the president is you have staff.
You have staff, but still, you have to make the ultimate decision.
Yes.
And they're coming at you at a rapid fire every single day. There's a certain stamina that one needs to be president of the United States. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes, but not solely.
I mean, who would you rather have as president? Joe Biden or Barack Obama, not because of politics, but because of the ability to do the job?
Well, that would be hard because I really don't want either one of them. His fault or not, Obama couldn't get much accomplished, didn't know how, or was thwarted at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know that wouldn't still be true. So I'm not any more interested in him than I am in Joe Biden.
But if you were to talk about a prime age for somebody becoming president, where would you place that age? I would place it somewhere.
I would like them to have enough experience. The people who were pushing for someone, either her or someone like OAC, she needs another decade at least of seasoning in politics and government.
Yeah.
She said this is only her first real government job, so I don't know that she knows her way around the system.
Well, no, I agree with you. I mean, I felt that when Obama was running,
I think 35 is about right for. You have to be that old to run for president. To be president.
When Obama ran, my complaint against him was that he had been a senator for only 2 years. And so what did he know about running the government? Now, if you're a governor and you run for president, you have more experience at that kind of job than you would.
It's a very different kind of government at the state level.
Very few senators ever get elected president. I mean, if you think about it, it's been governors, But
we're not talking about that. We're talking about age.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think that a good golden age for being president would be perhaps 50 to 60, somewhere in there, and for stamina and for experience.
What I'm interested in, what you're saying, and how the little side trips you take, and what people were saying on the blog yesterday, is whether whatever nuance or detail they gave to it, as many people as did wanted to control who could run for president.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised at that.
Why? Were people saying that there should be qualifications there?
Yeah, that whatever qualifications they thought related to age there should be, or what we should do to pass you after a certain age and say, okay, you can run. Mm-hmm. I was surprised at how many people thought whatever they chose, that there should be limitations on who can run for president. And I was just surprised in a democracy that there were as many as there were.
Yeah.
And I was more surprised. I have my arguments for why I think 35 to be able to be president is a perfectly good idea. I don't think we're really mature until about then.
Yeah.
Plus, it gives you some more information gathering time and
right,
learning.
Right.
But I was surprised if you were going to control anything. I really thought in a democracy more people, even not young,
mm-hmm.
would want to do away with the lower age limit. And nobody brought that up, which is good. But still, it's the placing of limitations that I was interested in, and you too.
Mm-hmm.
And who is going to judge? How will you either pick the age at which you say, no, you're too old to run for president, or what would you do to test them or something?
Yeah. Let me bring this up, okay? I think this is an important point, however. A younger person brings to the table newer ideas, newer ways
We're
of.
talking old people.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me finish with what I'm saying. It brings to the table new ideas. Many times they will sit
Old
there.
people don't?
Well, let me finish. They will.
Wait. That's
I
terribly
think-
important to
I
make
th-
that
I
assumption
think
that
l-
old people don't have ideas.
No, new ideas.
And they don't have new
I don't think
ideas?
so. I think that older people have a tendency to work on what I call previous tapes. Okay? In other words, hey, I did this back in 19 blah blah blah, and it should work
You're
now.
an ageist.
Yes.
Alex.
No, I'm not. I'm a practical.
An
I'm
ageist.
a practical ageist. All right.
No, and when we're done here, I will spend some amount of time today tracking down the papers that have been written by people far more qualified than you, that I've forgotten the numbers, but that, for instance, brand new companies and kinds of companies, more are started by people older than younger.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
And there are others like that. There are other studies like that.
Are you set in your ways?
I don't think of it. That's something that I've been meaning to write about, because I have been drinking every morning the same coffee in the same place for 40, count them, at least 40 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And no, you can't. When I'm away from home, I'll drink whatever coffee is in front of me. When I like this coffee, it took me a year to find the blend I liked, and I'll be damned if I'll go through that again. I don't think that's set in my ways. I think that's good for me, having found something quite young that I really like, and my taste hasn't changed over the years. If it had, I would be trying out other coffees.
If somebody came to you and said, Ronnie, I've got a great new coffee for you, why don't you just try it? Would you try it?
Sure.
Oh, okay. All right. But I think
I know I can tell you right now, after 40 years, I've done that enough times, I'm not probably going to be interested, but I'm sure, especially if I'm away from home. I don't care whatever coffee you can put in front of me. But I see an awful lot of things of set. If you're our age and you won't get a mobile phone, I think you're gonna, if for no other, there are practical reasons, you'd better start doing that now, because there's going to be no other way to do certain things from now on.
like call people.
Well, young people don't call anyway, but I think that throughout our lives, like my coffee example, is that you find something you really like and it's available. Why wouldn't you have something every day that you really like, as opposed to some random thing you don't know what you're going to taste in the morning? And if you like your bed made a certain way, and if you don't like to eat eggplant, it's the one thing I do not eat.
I hate, no,
like
me
eggplant.
too. Yeah.
And you can't get me to try it. I think that it smells awful when it's cooking, let alone taste.
Why does anybody like eggplant? That's what I don't understand.
Well, we're not discussing that, Alex. How did you ever get through a radio career?
Barely.
And those are not set in my ways. Those, as we go through life, we find things we like, and it simplifies life to settle down on one of them.
Okay, but now we're talking about somebody running the government, and it isn't about what coffee you're going to drink this morning. It's about decisions that have to be made. And are you making those decisions thinking out of the box, or are you thinking of those solutions?
If anybody ever uses out of the box in front of me again, please just stop it. Cliches just don't work here.
But, no, it's not a cliche. It's not.
Everybody after, I don't know which age you've chosen, everybody after a certain age cannot decide to kill all the Kurds in Syria.
Okay. All right, but
is that what you're saying?
No, the point that I'm making is that a older person is going to make decisions based a lot on previous experience.
I would hope so.
No,
God, I would hope so.
Wait a minute. Then upon newer solutions, which they have come for out of the box, because they weren't restricted by saying, well, this worked then, I guess it'll work now. They're saying,
is that how you think?
I was very proud that at the age of, I think, 74, I came up with a concept called the Citizen Panel, which was to put like as many people as I could on the screen at one time, all talking with each other. I considered that pretty much a new way of doing a talk show.
I'm sure glad I was. How many people?
I've gotten up to about I don't like to go over 12 people.
Too many for me.
Well,
they keep booking 6 people for a panel on MSNBC, and every person gets to say one sentence.
Well, but this is a group discussion. This is just a group discussion. Okay, but anyway, that's not the point. The fact that I came up with that at like 74, I was happy about. I don't think I could come up with a new idea again. I think that's my last big new idea. And I've had a lot of new ideas in my life. I mean, you may dispute this, but I was the first podcast. Years ago, I invented the whole podcast thing about downloading it to your machine and listening to it later and blah, blah, blah. But that was easy to do then because I could come up with new ideas constantly. I don't think I can come up with new ideas now. I'm the same age as Bernie Sanders, okay? Or maybe I'm 79, he's 78. I don't come up with new ideas.
You know what? One of the things that old people do is what you just did.
What?
You know how a little kid, when you see a little kid only about this tall, and she can just say, "Hi, Mary, how old are you?" And she says, "I'm 3 1/2."
Yeah.
Well, you just did the damn same thing. Old people do that when they get after a certain age. I'm 79, and you know that's a year older than Bernie. Well, I don't know. It's just like being a little kid again.
No, it's not like little kids. Kids will tell you how old they are to the month, you know, because they're looking forward. They're looking forward to getting older, okay? Because when they become 5, things are going to be better than when they're 4 1/2. With people who are our age, we don't say we're 80 years old till our 80th birthday. I don't say I'm 79 3/4.
Oh, I do, just because by this time, you know, by 2 or 3 months before my birthday, it's just whatever you're closer to seems easier.
Bernie the other day when they asked him how old he was, he said, "I'm this many." Anyway, let me ask you this question, okay? Now we have Bernie. There's a different nuance to Bernie's career. He's had a heart attack, okay? You feel comfortable with that?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You want to?
I have a friend who had a heart attack and big deal heart surgery 12 or 15 years ago, and he's going strong.
Okay. But you're not, your friend is a friend. If he's your president and he's in charge of the country, do you want somebody with a heart condition?
What do you think vice presidents are for?
Well, in the case of Pence, to annoy us. But, you know.
You know what I mean. I mean, don't always go for the joke, Alex. Just.
I'm not going for the joke. You know, he annoys the crap out of me.
Well, what about Trump?
Oh, well, you know something? I would rather see Trump be president than Pence. Okay?
This is the kind of thing being said that makes it very hard for me to go on. Trump has just consigned a whole people to death.
Oh, no. Look, you're not... get me wrong. I think Trump's terrible. I think Trump should not be president of the United States. I think. But
you said you would take him over anybody.
No. I said I would. No. I said I would take him over Pence.
Yes,
because Pence is a religious zealot who would shut down more stuff that would really drive you crazy. You know, Trump is doing this out of his own stupidity. Pence will do it out of his own religious fervor. I mean, Pence believes that you can, transform gays from gay to straight by religion.
Yes, we all know, but, you don't get to do things like that. That's Supreme Court would have to decide something like that, not Pence.
Well, we said, how much can Trump ruin this country? Who
said that?
I have often felt that this democracy kind of had an insulation against this sort of thing, but apparently I was wrong. That Trump is doing a lot to destroy this country.
You're not just discovering that now, I hope.
No, I'm not discovering it now. This is what it was like when we were married, folks. Anyway, you get a brief idea.
Well, you were saying some pretty outrageous things that you think old people are all the same from what you were saying.
No, I didn't say they were all the same.
At the same age, and that's so far from true that it's 180 degrees out.
When I talk about old people, I'm talking from experience. I'm old. I'm older than you are, so I have more experience
But
than
you're
you do.
not the only old person.
I know I'm not the only old person, but I know what I think I would be capable of at this point in my
But that's
life.
you.
I'm just saying that I don't want to take a chance on somebody else my age, okay? That's all I'm saying. You know, I mean, I think Elizabeth Warren is, 70, and I don't have any question about her. But my question is, there are two questions. Number one, I guess we're going to...
Apparently, though, wait, before you get to the next point, apparently then you don't believe what I've said, which is not me, which is many researchers saying this, that old people age at dramatically different rates.
No, I agree with you that they do age at radically different rates. But I think when you're talking about 78, 79, up around in there, you're starting to talk about the edge of being able to say, okay, this person may be a spry 79. You know, I just don't believe there's such a thing as a spry. There are some people who are 79. There are some people who are 79 who are 4 years younger than that, emotionally and every other way, physically and so on. On the other hand, there are people who are my age who are 84 technically. You know, so I agree with you. There's a difference, but do you want to take that chance?
Yes. If I think the person, in all my other evaluations would be a good president, yes, of course I would.
Well, why don't we do this as a qualification? Why don't we ask everybody running for president, what time do you go to bed now?
Why?
Because older people go to bed earlier.
Yes, they need more sleep.
Yeah, well, but the president doesn't get to sleep a lot.
Do you know that?
We've been led to believe that.
But you don't know that.
I mean, in Trump's case, all he does all day is watch television. You know.
But that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
But my other question is, and that would be as regards Biden, do you think that Trump, in his own weird, stupid way, has made Biden less of a candidate?
I don't know that we can tell yet.
Because I think a lot of people believe Biden has not responded to Trump aggressively.
Oh, because they wanted, who? Some writers say that.
I think people feel...
People don't say it. It's writers and pundits.
This is an audition for president of the for running against Donald Trump. And if you can't be aggressive now, what's going to happen when you're running?
Do you think that aggression and loud and punching in the face verbally is the only way to deal with Trump?
I think they just wanted a little more aggressive answer than Biden gave. That it was just a little too soft.
So you have an idea of how a presidential candidate should behave, and if they vary from that, then they're not viable.
No, after Trump, I'm not going to define what a presidential candidate should be like. I mean, the president Trump, I describe.
But you have with Biden.
I described the Trump campaign as being a remake of The Producers. Let's see everything we can do wrong, so we don't get elected, and then we'll walk away with the money. The fact was, I think he won, and they all looked at each other like they did in The Producers. Say, where did we go right?
Could we go back to where we were that you didn't answer?
What?
Is that you're saying that you've got this little area where it's a proper way to respond to that kind of an attack, and if you're one side or the other, then he's not qualified to be president. It's
a question of aggressiveness in a campaign, and it is.
Why do you think you need to be aggressive because in the same way that Trump is aggressive?
Because we're not saying being aggressive. They're complaining he just didn't give a good response, that he didn't give a hard enough response to say no. Absolutely not. Whatever he had to do.
What would you say in his place? You follow politics. You know enough to come up with.
I'd say I've had enough of this crap. I quit. But that's me.
Well, that isn't what I asked again.
I think I would just more aggressively answer the question. you know.
But give me what you think you should have done in the manner you think you should have done it.
Oh, you should say none of what Donald Trump is asserting in any way, shape, or form is true. Instead,
That sounds pretty weak to me.
Oh, well. And that's why I'm not running for president.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and that's why I'm not married to her anymore.
That was answer number 2. Oh, man. I'll tell you, I got to tell you a quick story. We're running over time, but I got to tell you a quick story. You knew my father, you know.
Yes.
And you knew
wonderful man.
You knew how much I loved him. But, you know, after he died, I kind of went into a state of denial and didn't think much about him after he died. And I think you said I cried in my sleep the night that he died. But so the other day, and there are times when you will miss that person. We were next door. It's actually in the other building. These people invited us up to their apartment. And all over the apartment are violins. He uses that as an office there's one in London and he's the New York office. They restore, refurbish, and sell violins. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's wonderful. My father was a violinist. He said, then I think you can appreciate this. And he takes me into another room. He's got a lock on the door. He opens up the door. He then goes to a safe. He opens up the safe. He pulls out 2 violin cases, opens them up, and in one there's 1 violin, and in the other one there are 2 violins. And he said, you know what you're looking at? I said, what? He said, 3 Stradivariuses, which of course, in case people don't know, is maybe the finest violin ever made. One was made in 1680, the other one in 1720. I don't know how old the third one was. Total value of the 3 violins that I was sitting there looking at was $12 million. And then he had me take one of the Stradivariuses and I put it under my chin and up to my, and I, at that precise moment, went, I got to call my father.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Because my father would have died to hear this story.
Yeah.
He would have just loved it. So all of a sudden, after 40 years or whatever, I miss my father.
Yeah. He was a great guy. He really was.
He really was. Yeah. And he liked you too. He thought you were terrific.
Yeah, I liked him pretty much too.
Yeah. Well, he was he was a great person, and I've never been able to achieve that greatness. And for that I'm eternally sad because he was just a great man.
He would have been proud if he was still here.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. But he would have said, why the fuck did you and that woman get divorced? So. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ronnie Bennett. She has timegoesby.net if you want to read her blog, which you should do. If you don't, shame on you. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks, right?
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that was Ronnie Bennett. We enjoyed talking with Ronnie. We love talking with Ronnie. Why shouldn't we? She's terrific. Anyway, let me see here. I'm going to open up the Skype lines if I remember how to do that. Man, I fucked up the opening of the show tonight like I've never fucked it up before. And it was all because I was just doing everything wrong, okay? And I think I've gotten to the point where I should stop doing this because I can't get it right. Stuff I do every night. I added a little thing to the opening, and that kind of made things more confusing with that big opening that we do now. But still, nonetheless. Anyway, let me turn the Skype on so you can call. And hope you enjoyed Ronnie. She's terrific. I have something to tell you, and I'm grieved by this, although it's not I mean, it's terrible, but it's not horrible. But how can I put it? Oh, well, wait a minute. Oh, somebody was trying to call. Phil was trying to call, and then he hung up. So, well, I'll tell you this in a couple of minutes because he's going to be calling, and then I'll be in the middle of me trying to get him to be what's. Well, wait a minute. Everybody's having trouble tonight. Wow. Well, that's not good. Let me see. Let me call Phil. Let me see here. Okay. There we go. There's Kathleen. Okay, we got Kathleen. Let me see here. And now we're going to try and get Phil on. I don't know what happened at the beginning there, but something was going on. Now let me see if I can do this again. I'm going to go here to Live Babe. That goes there. And then we go to number 2. That'll be Phil. That'll be Scuba Diver. Okay, there we go. And I think that's our panel so far for tonight. Look at that paltry panel. Well, quality, however. So that's good.
And you may not have me very long.
Why?
They were supposed to turn the electricity off. Somebody's.
Yeah. What?
I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, live with it.
All right.
What?
PG&E is turning the electric off for 1 million people in Northern California.
Yeah. I know. You guys are all complaining about that, and I had that problem tonight with Damien, and I had it with our sports show, and they said we don't know what's going to happen because the electricity is going off, and the electricity never went off. So.
Well, 8:00 tonight, my time.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what 11 your time. They're talking about pulling the plug.
Yeah. What about you out there in Tracy, Kathleen?
Nope.
If Tracy burned, it would be a plus.
What's the reason why they're turning off the electricity to prevent forest fires?
Yeah, up in Damien's area where they had the fire, it was due to PG&E lines. Mm-hmm. So what happened was PG&E is being proactive, and they're going to cut everybody's electricity off because we're supposed to have low humidity and high gusty winds. Mm-hmm. So anytime you have gusty winds and humidity, you won't have an electricity.
But they didn't say they were going to cut yours off. They said they might.
They have cut off certain areas. I thought they had already cut off Damien's area. They have cut off some areas.
All I'm saying is that so far the 2 people who said we don't know if we can do shows tonight because of the electricity, none of them had any problems.
No,
yeah, well,
what it is they, if they cut off the electricity here in Tracy, it's like 52 homes, and it's in Old Town Tracy where they have the wires above. All our wires in my neighborhood are underground. What they're worried about is trees falling into the wires. In my neighborhood, everything's underground, so they're not going to cut us.
What it is, it's PG&E who in the last wildfires got sued like a motherfucker because
then they went bankrupt.
Because their lines were causing the fires, or so it was supposed, and they had to pay out all kinds of money to people, and they're just trying to hedge their bets on this one. That's all they're doing.
They haven't paid out a dime. What they did was they went bankrupt, and the bankruptcy staved off the payments.
Yeah,
they haven't paid. And you know what's going to happen is the state will take over the utilities.
Okay,
I'm sure.
I mean, in Tracy, Sean and I were just going to play "Not So Little House, Not on the Prairie."
Yeah. So anyway,
if the electricity went off, I wouldn't care. He would probably have a slight conniption fit.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I wasn't on last night because I had I caught a cold and I was feeling like crappy, and I didn't want to do it. And this morning I woke up and the cold was terrible, but by the time it was time to do the show, it seems to have gone away. I'm just got a little congestion, and that's it. And then every now and then I will sneeze horribly.
Well, I saw the interview with Ronnie Bennett that you had put on yesterday, and you had a cold. It wasn't enough of a cold to overcome cancer, so you didn't come in first on that show.
No, I didn't come in first. No, I never will come in first with my hypochondria. You know? But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You know.
And you know what? I was very blessed to have met her, because I remember her coming out and telling us the wonderful stories about Barbara Walter and such.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did that happen?
Well, we were in the new apartment, so it had to have been between 98 and she came, probably 2001.
What? And she was in town and came by? Because I didn't know the two of you had ever met. Because I have a rule of either old wives or old girlfriends should never meet, be in the same space, because it's like a negative force, and the universe implodes when that happens.
No, I think it was she and I against you.
Well, that's what happens too. You also go over there and you start talking to each other, and then every now and then you give glances over to me like, yeah, I know. Yeah, you know. So it's I never like to have two wives in the same place at the same time. But
no, you know what? It was an absolutely wonderful visit.
Yeah.
There was no negativity, nothing.
Right.
It was really, really nice.
Right. Well, she and I, we had I won't say it was a contentious divorce. It was, I was a terrible guy at the time. I cheated like crazy on her, and she couldn't take it. And it probably was a marriage that was never meant to be. What we were meant to be was good friends. And that's what we've now remained. But for years, we didn't talk to each other. And then one day I felt compelled to call her up and say, I apologize for being such a shit.
Nice.
And from that time on, we've been friends, and that's the way it should be. Sometimes you make the big mistake by taking a really good friendship and trying to turn it into a marriage. And that doesn't necessarily work. Like, I don't know how you and I would have worked as a marriage. I have no idea. I know we would have made each other laugh a lot, and there would have been a lot of farting, and there would have been a lot of the stuff like that. And by the way, tonight I have terrible gas, and thank God this is on video, because you can't see it, and you can't smell it.
You don't have smell-o-vision?
No. But maybe I could get one out really loud so the audience could hear it tonight, at some point. But
you got to mic up down there.
No, I don't need to mic up. These are that loud, okay, that I don't need to.
Put a baffle on it.
Huh? Put a baffle on it. Yeah. I always find when I take one day off, the next day hardly anybody calls. I think it's their way of making me suffer. Because I didn't do a show.
I don't think so. Most of the California contingent, we were told that the utilities would go off at midnight last night. Then we were told they would go off at 8 in the morning. Then 4 in the afternoon. Now 8 at night.
Yeah.
So they're just fucking with us.
They're lying. They've always been lying sacks of shit.
I think this is retribution for making them go bankrupt.
Totally.
They're saying, hey, we'll teach you guys a lesson.
No, but
there's some wind out there.
Yeah.
We'll see how much you appreciate us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I know they're hedging their bets too. They don't, because if they say, well, we're going to turn off the electricity if it gets really bad, they're not going to get sued. Okay. Because
they get sued anyway.
They'll get sued anyway, but nobody will win because they'll say, well, see, we tried to warn you. There we go. There he is. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Dan is, let's see here. Do I have him here? Goober Dan, Mr. Dan. There we are. Okay. You know what I'm finding? I have to wear my glasses more, and I don't want to. But
this morning.
So I'm blind. I'm blind. I can't operate this equipment anymore because the opening was so fucked up. I had to do 3 restarts on the show. Okay. And then I'm passing gas like crazy while Ronnie's on.
Well,
you know.
that 3 restarts, that's good practice. You know,
But you know what? Go ahead.
I went into work this morning.
Yeah.
And the monitor on one of my salespeople's desks stopped working. And so I went to Costco to buy another monitor. And the smallest thing, I wanted a 22.
Yeah.
And the smallest thing they had was a 27. Yeah. So I buy the 27. Yeah. I put the 22 on their desk that I had in my office. And this 27, I don't have to take my eyeglasses off anymore to be able to see the monitor. Because what was happening was every time I'm looking, I'm pulling the monitor closer to me. Yeah. And so maybe you just need a bigger monitor.
Well, I don't want a bigger monitor. I'm happy with the way things are.
Yeah.
But no, but I just I don't know. It's here's what happened. I had this neuropathy. So Walter Sabo's in town. He says, well, I have neuropathy, but I have diabetic neuropathy. He says, but neuropathy is when your nerves start going bad in your legs and feet and so on.
And you won't go to a chiropractor who probably could fix that in 2 seconds.
I'm going to a chiropractor next week, and let's see what happens. I think you're wrong. But anyway, but I will be happy.
That's what they do.
I will be happy to say you were right, you know. But this guy says, well, this is just the beginning. We can't fix it all in one thing. I want to see I don't want to see miracles. I just want to see some change in the first visit.
You know why they say that?
Why?
So they can get you to sign up for 10 sessions.
Well, they also say they're going to turn off your electricity for 8 hours tomorrow just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I'm feeling numb now because I'm crossing my legs, so stop doing that, Alex. Anyway, so Sabo told me, I'm taking this thing called Lyrica, and he says, it's great, at night and don't have problems with my feet anymore and whatever. So I started taking a little bit and took it one night, and it didn't work, and then the next night. Finally, I started taking it twice a day. And my feet are feeling better, Is
Lyrica for diabetic neuropathy, or is it for just neuropathy?
For diabetic neuropathy, but also for nerve pain, and that's what I have. So it fits in the category. It's the same thing as he gave me a gabapentin, and it's an offshoot of gabapentin. It's a more powerful gabapentin. Plus, you get a really nice high.
Really?
Yeah, so in the afternoon, I take it in the afternoon, I'm like floating really nice,
But you have trouble operating farm machinery.
Well, I couldn't operate this machinery tonight. That's why I was fucking up so badly. But I figure if I keep taking it, I'll get used to it, and I'll be fine. But
yeah, I saw it was maybe 10 minutes, 8 minutes after the hour. To where it started. Yeah, the show started.
Neuropathy. It doesn't have to be diabetic neuropathy. It says it takes care of fibromyalgia or whatever that's called. So it takes care of any kind of nerve pain that's going somewhere, and it does. It has made my feet feel a lot better.
What are the side effects?
I feel kind of drowsy, but it's kind of a high drowsy. It's a controlled substance.
Uncontrollable flatulence.
Uncontrollable flatulence. Yes, that's the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And like Lepetamine, I hope I can now learn to play songs with my ass. But what?
Hard work. More for Gabnet Entertainment.
Yeah.
So, Dan, are you back at school now?
My ass can have a show of its own.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm back to school. I've been I'm doing the teaching and the door dashing. So I'm a multi-income stream having
did you say
person.
Did you say the door dashing?
Those are the jeans.
DoorDash, not DoorDash.
What's
but DoorDash?
What's door dashing?
It's gig economy. It's the like Goober for food.
They deliver the food.
Oh, I see.
Do you eat some of the food that is on the way to the people that you're delivering to? Like if you're delivering shrimp cocktail.
Tis my sacred charge to get the meal to the customer exactly as it was given to me. I couldn't live with myself if I ate a French fry or anything like that. I couldn't do it.
I can't make it home from McDonald's or Burger King with the French, or In-N-Out with the French fries. I'll pick them up for Faye.
Those are your fries. You can do what you want with them. They're not my fries.
They're Faye's fries. I stop on the way home. I said, "What do you want?" She says, "Number 2." I get the number 2. Yeah, it's got fries. Just one, just
she's
2.
Your wife. She's not a customer. Yeah. She's your wife or whatever she is.
She's living with him. She's she's tolerating him.
Oh man, that poor
Sean
woman.
and I haven't had fast food in like over 3 years.
By the way, Sean is her son. Let's mention that because people don't know. And that's Phil over there. Phil is the guy with the how do I describe him? The bald-headed guy, with the glasses. I know you. Yeah, those are your hair plugs. I'd get my money back if I were you. And of course, that's Dan. It's Mr. Dan, the man with the van. Yeah.
And where do you park the creepy van?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you have those recordings? I know Rob had those recordings, right?
What?
The Uncle Dan's creepy van.
I don't know where those went. I almost forgot that whole bit. It happened so long ago.
It was. I thought they were funny. I mean.
Well, why did we start with the creepy van? You were doing some podcasts or something, right?
I did a podcast.
Yeah, everybody does podcasts, by the way.
Yeah.
But you can't. But you're not qualified. You're not qualified to do a podcast because you're not a radio announcer who's been fired.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have big name recognition.
Boy, I just let one go here, and I'm glad you're not here. Go ahead. What?
That'll stain.
Yeah. I don't have. Obviously, I don't have your name recognition, Alex. But
yeah.
I was trying to do this little podcast. I did some episodes of it.
Yeah.
I was doing like different stuff all the time on it. And
yeah.
But. Yeah, and then you and Rebel Soak Jim were talking about Uncle Dan's creepy van because I went by the name Uncle Dan on the podcast.
Yeah.
So said Uncle Dan's creepy van because I'm an uncle and I like the sound of Uncle Dan. So that's that.
Right. So we started making jokes about Uncle Dan's creepy van.
Yeah, and then Rob made those commercials for
yes.
Uncle Dan's creepy van.
Yeah.
And those were hilarious.
Yeah. That's, Well, anyway, that's then, this is now.
Jeff's back.
Jeff's back from Jeff's back from every country that Trump wants to start a war in. Well, how are you?
It's nice to be home.
Yeah? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, we had a great time.
Where'd you go?
Well, we started at Budapest.
Budapest? Yeah.
On a river, and the river didn't work.
What do you mean the river didn't work?
They didn't have enough water.
Well, is this one of those situations where if you threw a river and no water came, would there be a river?
So, what is it? A river cruise that you were doing?
A river cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough to draft.
So the scraping sound during the
yeah, you guys were dragging ass.
So they they put you in a hotel.
Yeah.
Which we're going to start in a hotel anyway. But
can you turn your camera? Can you turn your camera a little bit so that light isn't coming in from the back because it makes it kind of throb. Not that way. The other way. Get the light out. There we go. That way. Okay. And then then move yourself over. No, that's fine. That light's fine. Turn that. No.
Now you're
And to get rid of that light. Get rid of that light.
Is it the other one?
Yes, that one in the back.
When there's light from the back, it silhouettes you.
Okay. Here we go.
Protection program.
Here we go. He's going to go turn it off here. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
And
Jeff, turn on the one that's in front of you.
You see the light that's on there. It's very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Okay.
So anyway, so they had to put you. You couldn't take the river cruise because there wasn't enough water in the river.
Well, but what they do is after a couple of days, they put you on a bus, and they bring you to a new location on the river.
Yeah.
which is Vienna.
Yeah.
And there, everything was fine.
Oh, okay.
There was a boat, there was plenty of water. And
yeah.
After that, it was a no-brainer.
That sounds good. That sounds great. You had a nice time, and it was...
It's a great time.
Yeah.
A great time.
Yeah.
And at the end of it,
Yeah.
we were at the end of the boat.
Yeah.
And then we went to...
Called the stern.
to Prague.
Yeah.
And Prague is not part of the river.
Yeah, but Prague, did you get to see any porn being made there?
No.
No, you know that is the European porn capital, don't you?
Well, I didn't get invited.
You know, is that where David Hayek lives?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Prague, a few years ago, Prague was the go-to destination for Americans who wanted a job because they just liked Americans with experience. And they were hiring them like crazy at crazy wages. And I don't know if that's true anymore, but I do know that what then jumped in there, among other things, was the porn industry, and it became the porn capital of Europe, basically.
Well, Prague is kind of like one of those strange countries that didn't get exploded during World War II.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's because they gave up in 30 minutes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the other strange part is they have a whole Jewish quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no Jews anymore.
No.
So what they have is all these museums.
Well, actually, it used to be a Jewish quarter, but it's now a dime. So, see, I can
raised it to 50 cents, and they all moved to Brooklyn.
I can make those jokes because I'm Jewish.
That's right.
I'm a self-loathing Jew. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So they have a whole bunch of what you call museums or histories or whatever, which happen to be built on synagogues.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay. Are they?
So it's kind of interesting.
Are they? What is it they do where it's no longer holy ground? They sanctify it. Do they desanctify them?
You know, like the eternal flame still going.
No, not there. No. No. Now in Budapest, I think the flight, was running.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful.
Let me ask the Jews here. What year is it? It's Yom Kippur.
Oh yeah, I forgot now. I got they sent me a Jewish calendar. Isn't it 27 something?
It's 57 something.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'll ask the authority. Echo, what Jewish year is this?
This might answer your question. On September 29th, 2019, the year of the Rosh Hashanah, also called Jewish New Year, was 5,780.
5,780. We are from the future.
So is it like the eight? Now it's like the 80s.
Yeah,
so that's like
57 80s.
Yeah, so 57 80s, man.
We are from the future. That's all I can say. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Maybe we can do it this way. I can't get the echo going. Damn it.
Do you have Alexa Silver?
What? Do I have what?
Saturday Night Live, Alexa Silver.
Oh, yes. I remember that one.
That was funny.
What?
It's fun. Anything that sounds like Alexa.
Allegra. Odessa.
Well, you see, this doesn't respond to Alexa because I changed it so it would respond to Echo because it would get mixed up with my name. So if somebody said Alex, it would probably, what do you want? It already sometimes talks when it isn't asked anything. Because I have it in the bedroom, I have it near a surround sound speaker, and I know something goes on TV, and somebody says something, and she goes, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
She's got Alexaheimers.
She's got Alexaheimers, exactly. When did they do that bit? Because if it was this weekend.
No, it was a couple years ago.
Oh,
it's
okay.
on YouTube.
I think it was just when Alexa first came out.
Because man, I watched it this last Saturday night, and it was so bad it was ridiculous. And I love what's her name, the woman from Fleabag. No, the woman from Fleabag.
Oh yeah, she was great.
She's terrific, but
best.
Huh? Yeah. Listen, I got some kind of bad news. Okay. Our good friend Will Durst was supposed to yesterday do the call we do every 3 weeks or so, and he wasn't there, and I called his home. And Debbie, his wife, answered, and I said, "Where's Will? I'm supposed to do a thing with him." And she says, "He had a stroke last night."
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
He was at a theater somewhere, and he was about to go on, and all of a sudden he felt something or another, and he collapsed, and he had a stroke.
Oh, no.
And they rushed him off to the hospital, then off to another one that was even better. And supposedly he's doing okay, but his speech is slurred. And his right side or left side, I don't know which one is impaired, and they don't know how much of that will come back and how much of that won't. You probably know a lot about this.
Too much.
Too much, more than you want to know. What are his chances, do you think? I mean, in a situation like this.
Well, I mean, I can't statistically say it's a 50-50 chance or anything like that, because I think it depends upon what happens to his brain at the time.
Yeah.
How much of it got damaged and how much didn't.
Jeff, is there a drug that if they give it to them in so many minutes after the stroke or so many hours after the stroke, it reduces the damage?
I agree.
But there is a drug.
Well, they found a hemorrhage in his brain. That's where the stroke occurred, and then they supposedly did a stent or something in there and got it to bleed out.
Yeah.
Is this pretty much seem familiar to you?
Yeah. I mean, when I had it done, remember, it was many, many years ago, so the technology has gotten better and better.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that he's, she says she saw him today. I keep getting messages from her. She saw him today, and he was in. She could understand him, although he wasn't completely able to talk, and he was eating some food and things like that. So she was hopeful that it was going to get better, but he's still in the hospital and probably be there for quite a while. So we will just hope and pray that he's going to be okay.
As I remember, for me, it didn't take too long to be in the hospital, but I had a lot of therapy, and it took me.
Well, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of therapy ahead.
It took me a year to really.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I feel bad about. Comedians rely on a couple of things, and one of them is being able to stand on stage, which I suppose he could do, but to get out there it would be, difficult. And then he could probably sit on a chair. But then the other thing is speaking, and timing. And that timing's going to be affected by it.
That's the hard part.
But he's still got his writing he can do, which, if he can type, And I feel so bad for him, and it's just another friend who's, this one didn't die, but it was close. It was really close, and I'm keeping out a good thought for him. But
it's better when they have the stroke after the show. Was Larry Brown on the refund table?
No.
Okay. But he's always joking about that.
You people talk to each other for a second. I got to go get some nose spray because my nose needs nose spray. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me see here.
That's really awful.
Okay, I'll be right
1 minute
back.
you're okay, and the next minute you're laying in a hospital
bed. In here is where we have the. Can you hear me, guys?
Next minute you're dead. You know.
Hopefully not.
It's amazing.
Well, I mean,
you can't
it'll
see.
happen to us all eventually, but
Yeah.
Two
But
hypochondriacs living together have more than they
The other part
possibly
you-
can use. But anyway.
Remember,
So anyway,
Yeah.
I got the nose spray, so I'll be fine.
Memory. Yeah, Alex.
Oh,
when
wait a
you're
minute.
off
This is
mic,
not the nose spray.
You're
I wanted.
interrupting
Hold
the
on,
show.
I'll be right there.
She's all, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Yak, 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 yak.
I'm feeling we're glad to talk amongst yourselves. It's another old SNL skit from way back.
This is the
I'm
good
in
stuff.
the
folks.
closet.
This is the real good stuff. Oh, you see my pajamas? Yeah.
very nice.
That's what
You
we
got
old
the
people
red
wear
one.
now, Kathleen. Would you find me sexy wearing those pants?
I got the.
Would you just want to jump my bones in the sack if I had
Kathleen, you
worn
get them
those?
at the Gabnet store.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's awesome.
let's
It's official.
let's say you first met me, okay, and we go back to my place and I say, wait a minute, I got to make myself comfortable, and I put these pants on. Would you have fucked me?
Did he have, Kathleen, did he have that old beat up blue bathrobe when you knew him? He had a bathrobe with the pocket falling off and
No, listen, when I find a bathrobe I like, I never get rid of that bathrobe.
Dan's got his hand.
Yes, Dan.
Oh well, I just you were earlier tonight. You were talking to your ex-wife Ronnie.
Yeah.
Kathleen, she's your ex-girlfriend, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Marjorie's off the show. What's going on around here?
You would probably know me as Schmoody.
Well, the fact is,
that's a pet name.
you know, I take great pride in the fact that I still know these people and they still talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time when you have girlfriends and you break up, or wives and you break up, that's it. You don't talk to them anymore.
How come you don't have Susan on? I always considered her a friend. I really liked Susan. You know?
Yeah.
And she was smart. Funny.
She was smart and she was fun, yes, but there are problems. Okay,
You know
and
what,
it
I
has
was
nothing to
hanging
do.
out with
It has nothing to do with the relationship between she and I. It has to do with the fact. Well, I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
When I was hanging out with him, I didn't tell anybody. Alex would say, do you mind if I talk about you? And I'd say, yeah, just don't use my last name. Well, everybody calls me Kathy, or they just call me Halstead or fucking Halstead.
Yeah.
So he would talk about Kathleen. So one time he's got a live show at Tommy T's in San Ramon. And so about 6:15, a huge entourage of UPS drivers come in, and some of them are from Oakland and some of them are from San Ramon. So when he would go to commercial, he'd come straight off the stage and walk straight to me. And do I sound okay? Am I going to get fired? Do you think it's cancer? Fine. I'd say everything's fine, pat him on the ass, and then Alex in 10, and I'd send him back up to the stage. So by like the 5th time, he goes back onto the stage. These drivers come running up to me and they go, Kath, are you Kathleen? And I said, yes. Shh. And man, by that time it was a wildfire around the building. But I'd have people come up to me and say, how can you stand that SOB? And I go, you guys don't understand. He is an entertainer. His job is to entertain.
Yeah.
When he's off the air, he's completely different.
Yeah.
People had a hard time separating you, Alex Bennett, from Bennett. You know.
And I used to play a piece of shit on the radio. That was my character.
Oh, you'd start so much shit. It was fan-frickin-tastic.
Yeah. So, you know, but I mean, the one thing I liked about you, I tell you, and I broke with a couple of women in my time because of this, you never, ever told anybody who your boyfriend was. You were always very secretive about that. And I appreciated that because I had other people that I knew, other women that I knew, that I heard that would brag about who they were going with, you know, and I didn't like that because I didn't feel they were going with Bennett Schwarzman. They were going with Alex Bennett, You know.
Precisely. I mean, the first time we went out, you hardly said 2 words. I mean, we must have slammed about 20 Diet Cokes each. And then Tony Tantilla was on the phone, and then you hand the phone to me, and Tony Tantilla's asking me a bunch of questions. And after that, we were inseparable. I mean, I loved you for you, not Alex Bennett, but Bennett Schwarzman.
But you didn't go around telling your friends, hey, guess who I'm going with? And that's what I really appreciated.
A word. Nope.
You know, and this particular story is a case in point where you didn't want anybody to really know who you were going out with, you know. So
it was beside the point.
Yeah, exactly. So it was. I just let another one go, by the way, folks. But you can't smell it, and you didn't hear it. So
Alex is farting up a storm.
No, I don't know. You know, some days I don't know where the gas comes from.
From your ass.
I mean, what did you eat today?
What did I eat today? I had some shrimp and some sausage.
Damn.
For breakfast, and that was it. I didn't eat much of anything. So I'm farting.
Lyrica.
Huh?
Lyrica.
It could be the Lyrica's doing it.
Lyrica was farting?
Who knows? You never know. I should look at the effects of it online. You know, and if it says could cause excessive farting, you know, I'll go, well, I'll get a job playing music, you know. But anyway, you know, so I
you ever light one?
Huh? No, I never lighted a fart. I was too afraid that it would go.
Singe the hairs.
It would go inward. Well, you can light your farts because it's butane. You know.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
My son is loving this. I know he's going to be like, hey, Mom.
Well, then I will tell your son the cows have lots of butane in their farts, and cows fart a lot. Methane. So get your methane. So get your cigarette lighter out there, Sean, and get out to a pasture somewhere and have some fun. You know. Yeah.
Outside.
I never did this, but anybody ever do cow tipping?
No.
Supposedly,
I never did it, but I always heard about it.
Yeah, because cows sleep
in my neck of the woods. You know, that's where we got a lot of farms and stuff like that. We raised sheep when I was a kid, but not cows. But I never had the guts to go up to a cow and try to tip them over.
Well, no, but they sleep standing up, and you do it while they're sleeping.
I never had the guts to do it. I was afraid like the cow would just squash me or something.
Yes. Well, I mean, fuck cows. You know, I mean, cows are the stupidest animals on the planet. And I hate to say this because Marjorie loves cows. We've got little cow statues everywhere in the house and spots and things like that. She loves.
Pretty fucking stupid.
But they are really stupid. I'll tell you how stupid they are. I actually have a video somewhere. I was out in the backwoods of Marin, and there was this pasture of cows, and I called them the hair club for cows because they were these special kind of cows that have like this tuft of hair up here that looks like a hair piece.
Oh wow!
And one cow was sitting down, and another cow was standing over him, pissing on his head. Now, you know, I mean, that's stupid. Okay, and the cow was getting pissed on. Didn't move and didn't look like he was saying, what the fuck's going on here? Why are you pissing on my head? Yeah, exactly. So I never, I've never had a great affection for cows at all. Yeah.
Common side effects of Lyrica include infection, ataxia, blurred vision, constipation, dizziness, drowsiness, fatigue, headache, peripheral edema, tremor, weight gain, visual field loss, accidental injury, abnormal gait. Abnormal teen.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait. Abnormal gait.
The whole time you're reading it, Phil, he's acting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have to act it. He's taking the pill.
He's living.
Let's see. Congestive dysfunction, confusion, edema, neuropathy.
Neuropathy.
That's a side effect.
But if it cures neuropathy, why do you get neuropathy?
You get neuropathy. It's a side effect. Speech disturbance, vertigo, visual disturbance, increased appetite, twitching. Can you do the twitching? Okay. Where was I? See below for a comprehensive list.
Okay, wait a minute.
Like, that's not enough. But farting was not one of them.
Really?
What constipation was that? Could have some. Are you constipated, Alex?
No. Okay. No, I mean, I shit. You know, sometimes I sit on the toilet and I can't shit. I only fart. You know that syndrome. But then when I do shit, it's like big, huge log-like turds. Yeah, you know.
There is a word for that in Yiddish. It's called alta caca.
Old shitter. Yeah. But anyway, so let me see here. What? Oh, I got some news for you here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get.
You can give us enough?
Well, I print this stuff as I see it, and then I go, okay, I think I should do this. That's a receipt for doctor bill. You know what I hate about doctors now? I have all these co-pays. They're just like $25, $17, you know, $20. But your doctors, a lot of these doctors, don't take, they don't have anything where you can go online and just pay by credit card. So you got to call them and give them your credit card or mail them a check. Now, I got to tell you, I can't remember the last time I wrote out a check.
That is also one of the effects of Lyrica.
What?
Loss of memory.
What?
Loss of memory, one of the effects of Lyrica.
No.
So anyway, so where was I? See, now I forgot.
There you go.
You can't remember the last time you wrote out.
Well, look,
check
if you had seen me at the do the opening tonight, I didn't even get I didn't even click the start streaming button. I forgot to do that, and then I started the music, and then I went to push the button for the Alex Bennett Open, and I pushed the button for video, which was Ronnie, and then I stopped the whole thing and started all over again. So I had a nice clean start, and that fucked up on me. Okay.
Got take 3.
Yeah. So finally, on take 3, I got it.
Start. It's one of the Lyrica.
Yeah. Fucking up the beginning of your show is one of the.
Side effect.
Anyway, first of all, a little story here in New York probably mean nothing to you, but there's a station called WBAI. Huh?
Oh, WBAI, Pacifica Network.
Pacifica Network, and it was how would we describe that radio station?
It's a hippie radio station. It's listener sponsored, and it's. Well, I was a WBAI greasy volunteer in 1969.
Really?
Yeah, and they gave you all the cigarettes you could smoke.
Really?
Yeah.
Chesterfields.
No, I think they were Virginia Slims.
Well, WBAI has been known for years as kind of being the offbeat, really left-wing radio station here and the Pacifica Foundation was a very lefty organization. They have KPFA in Berkeley.
In Berkeley. Yeah.
Well, they've been running into money problems, as a lot of radio stations are, except in their case, they're running into money problems, and they don't run commercials. They take money from people.
I thought somebody wanted to buy them in New York for a lot of money because of their position.
Here's the story that I always knew that most people didn't know. They always thought of it as a non-commercial station, but they had a commercial license. If they were a non-commercial station, they would have been lower on the, higher up on the dial. Okay, there's a little place there where they did all the non-profit stations and everything. WBAI was in a slot for a commercial station. They did not have to be not-for-profit. Okay, so a lot of people over the years have tried to buy that radio station because it had a huge booming signal, and it was in the smack dab in the middle of the FM dial practically, and it was really a great buy of a radio station if you wanted to buy it. But they never did sell it. Okay, now it's a little bit later and radio stations are having a hard time and it isn't worth as much as it once was worth, but it still could be worth a lot of money. Well, anyway, what they decided was they were losing money. So in order to save money, they were just going to fire the entire staff and just run the Pacifica Network. The Pacifica has a network where they run a whole bunch of shows on them, and they would just run that and not have to have a staff in there. All they'd have to do is be plugging the, putting the signal to the transmitter, and they could do that probably from the transmitter and save a bundle of money. All right. So they decided to do that. They told the whole staff, "You're all fired. Goodbye. Nice doing business with you. And on Tuesday, or Monday, we're going to go nothing but this syndicated deal." And everybody went batshit in this town. Nobody misses something until it's gone, right? Yeah. Then everybody suddenly loves it and wants to save it, all right? Where were you when they needed money? Did you send them $1? If you didn't, fuck you, right? So the people at the station, I think the general manager, went in and got a restraining order preventing them from doing it. And the judge gave them the temporary restraining order. Here's what it says. The temporary restraining order was issued by WBAI local chair Carolyn McGuire, after WBAI local board chair Carolyn McGuire, producers Arthur Schwartz and Mimi Rosenberg, contributor Harvey Epstein, and Pacifica board members James Sautern and Alex Steinberg filed a petition in court against the foundation seeking the order. A hearing on the matter is scheduled for October 18th. A meeting of the local WBAI producers was scheduled for a few nights ago to tell everybody about what was happening. They have now been prevented from going this syndication route, at least for the time being. And it would be nice if all of a sudden everybody came forward and said, "Here's $1, and here's another $1, and here's another $1. And they could say, "Okay, well, now we don't have to do it," But it became quite a cause célèbre here in town.
Yeah, the KPFA, when I shot Danny Glover, they had it. They had the video.
By the way, did he recover from the wounds?
No. He's the lethal weapon. Hey, I shot the lethal weapon. But when I shot that, it was simulcast on KPFA, which is the Pacifica WBA Pacifica station out here.
Yeah, you just wanted to get that in because you wanted to talk about taking pictures of Danny Glover.
Of course, I had.
The fact is that he has an apartment in our apartment house.
Yeah, he lives in the city too.
Yeah. Anyway, let me see here. Now here comes the story of the day. Have you heard about the rape allegations against Matt Lauer?
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems that that piece of shit, what's his name, Ronan Farrow, who is, of course, as we all know, is Woody Allen's son. Have you seen him?
There's a resemblance.
There's a definite resemblance to Woody Allen. I mean, the red hair to begin with. God, and the freckles and the kind of Jewish nebbishy look of. No, Ronan Farrow looks like Frank Sinatra, who's probably his father.
He actually is better looking than Frank Sinatra. But
well, Frank Sinatra was good looking because he was offbeat good looks.
Yeah.
Ronan Farrow is good looking, but he's not good looking. He just looks kind of strange. He's a piece of shit. Who writes these allegations against his own fucking father to the point where his father can't get people to back his movies anymore? What a piece of shit. Anyway, he's written.
Woody Allen need people to back his movies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody needs people to back their movies. You know how much it costs to make a fucking movie?
Well, it depends. If Gabnet could do it cheap.
I'll do it with my GoPro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Anyway, and then they've been. So here's the most explosive interview in the book is with Brooke Nevels, former NBC News employee whose complaint about Matt Lauer led to the anchor's firing from the Today Show in 2017. At the time, NBC News kept Neville's identity anonymous from press reports at her request. The full details of her allegations have not been made public until now. She says that while they were in Sochi at the Olympics, okay, that she went up to his hotel room, and he then slammed her against the wall, and he butt fucked her. He butt fucked her. Yeah. Let's see here. Here's an actual simulation of Matt Lauer fucking Brooke Neville's. Just okay. So hold up, Brooke. Hold up, Brooke. There's Brooke, and there's Matt Lauer. Okay. Here, no, it would be the other way around. That's Brooke. You've got Brooke fucking Matt.
Oh shit.
Okay. So now
take your quarter.
He fucked her in the ass. Higher. There we go. There you go.
There we go.
I'm so drunk. I don't know what's going on.
It says Matt Lauer's NBC says Matt Lauer's conduct was appalling, horrific, and reprehensible. I didn't know that anal sex was appalling and reprehensible. He was fired within 24 hours of us first learning of the complaint. Here's the deal. Lauer sent out an open letter denying wrongdoing. He's quoted as saying in the letter, in a book, it is alleged that an extramarital but consensual sexual encounter I have previously admitted having, which he admitted having this, was in fact an assault. It is categorically false. Now, here's the thing about this woman. She went back 4 more times and had sex with him.
Yep.
So how are we, okay, I'm going to believe the woman if she says, hey, I went up to Matt Lauer's room, he threw me against the wall, he then fucked me in the ass. He said, do you like it in the ass? Supposedly, it's in the book. Did you like it? Do you like it in the ass? And she said no, and he said, well, here, why don't you try it? And he shoved it in her ass. Okay. Now, I think if nothing more, it's rude. Okay. But
now you have to prep for that kind of stuff. You can't just
not necessarily.
If she's not used to it, I mean, that you'd hear a lot of screaming. Nobody I ever did it with was happy about it.
Said no.
What'd you say?
Apparently, she cried in the pillow.
Yeah. So, but
then she went back
4 more times.
Thank you.
Then I gotta say to you, fuck you. You haven't got a case here.
Don't hit me.
She says the reason I went back is because I was afraid that I would have retribution at my job and so on. Now she's playing the power play here, and I just find there's something very phony about this, and that Ronan Farrow will publish anything that somebody will tell him. But NBC is trying to make themselves look good by going, well, this was terrible and it's horrible and we're sorry for her and blah blah blah. I mean, they fired him without even having proof that any of this went on.
24 hours.
Yeah,
no, he wasn't fired within 24 hours because weren't they still involved? But she didn't say anything.
No, he was fired for other. I think it was someone else.
Yes.
Complained out on him.
Yeah.
And
he supposedly had an electric lock on his door, and that women would go in, and then he would electronically lock it. And
could they describe what was under his desk? When
his erect penis. But I mean, when I heard the story today and the way they told it, I just kind of went. I didn't want to be one of these people, we can't believe the woman, but I don't know if I can believe this woman. I mean, it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me.
It's sad that these women would take their careers over the next woman coming along and getting it. That's the issue I have.
Well, if you say that you're afraid of the person's power and you're afraid of how it will affect your job and so on, aren't you in some ways becoming a prostitute?
That's what I said.
You become part of the problem.
Yeah.
For not stepping up and saying anything.
Now, was Matt Lauer as bad as Weinstein? It
wasn't as bad as Weinstein because he wasn't as ugly as Weinstein.
Weinstein probably had more power than Lauer.
Yeah.
Weinstein.
Well, if she worked at NBC, you would say he had a certain amount of power. But, you don't have to go back for seconds, thirds, and fourths. You should feel, hey, that hurt getting fucked up the ass. And, he didn't use any lube. And, I wasn't there. Maybe he did use lube. He could have actually given her, for all we know, he gave her a choice of lube, Huh? Yeah.
I just said we don't know what the story is. I don't.
Yeah, but
I haven't even read up on that.
But really, everybody is trying to act like, this is true. This is for real. And I'm sure Matt Lauer in his mind, there are women who if Kathleen weren't so damn sane, she could probably complain about me. Make some kind of irrational statements about our relationship together.
Anybody can say anything.
and if I were still being employed by anybody, go ahead, do it. I don't care. But if I were still employed by anybody, I might lose my job over it. There were crazy women that I knew who maybe in this day and age would come forward and say something that wasn't true because they were nuts. But,
I mean, at UPS, we had women that as soon as the manager held them accountable to their job, all of a sudden the freaking sexual harassment card comes out. And that used to piss me off.
Well, you see, I think sexual harassment is a legitimate gripe and complaint. And I think that the sexual assault is a legitimate complaint. But what makes it illegitimate are women who claim it when it didn't happen.
That's exactly what they were doing. As soon as a manager was holding them accountable to their job because they were in fact not doing what they were supposed to do, then they'd flip out the card.
And in this case, men have no recourse in defending themselves or whatever. They're just simply accused. Goodbye. See you later.
They do. They just can't. They just can't apologize. Who was it? Franco or one of those actors that was there was a ceremony, an Oscar ceremony or something, and he was accused in that Me Too movement time, and he said no way, and that went away. But the Franco thing's
back again, though. You've heard the latest on Franco.
Yeah, but at the time, during the height of the Me Too, he said no way, and they pretty much backed off. But any one of those guys that said, "Oh, I'm really sorry if it was interpreted that way,"
Louis C.K., great comic, when he got accused of exposing himself to women in his hotel room, okay.
I thought it was in an office setting.
No, it was in a hotel room. But when he was accused of that, he immediately copped to it. He said, "Yeah, I did that." Okay, and if anybody was offended,
I forgot
if anybody's offended by it, I am very sorry.
Hold on, I gotta get my headset.
Okay,
pretty weird.
Huh?
Louis C.K. That was pretty weird stuff he was up to.
Well, no, but the thing is that Louis C.K., well, to begin with, in the Louis C.K. thing, he supposedly, the story goes, he had these 3 women in the hotel room, and he said to them, "Do you mind if I pull out my penis?" And mind you, none of them said no. Okay? None of them said no, and then he pulled it out, and nobody left. Okay? So, I mean, to begin with, he was very gentlemanly. He said, "Do you mind if I pull out my penis?" Somebody could have said, "No, don't do that," or "If you do, I'm leaving." Okay? When asked about it, he copped to it. He said, "Yeah, I did that, and I'm sorry if anybody was offended by it." Well, that should have been enough. To begin with, what did he do? He just pulled out his penis. I mean, what would you do, Kathleen, since you're the only woman? Here's the reason I'm asking you. If some guy said to you, "Do you mind if I pull out my penis?"
I would have said, "Yeah, dude, seriously, come on."
Oh, my God.
Sean's laughing. Sean's like, holy.
Who did this?
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. You wouldn't have said, "You can, but do you mind if I cut it off?"
Totally, I'd have said some smart ass remark because I'm a smart ass.
Yeah. That sounds like Louis C.K. all over again.
Yes, that's who we're talking about. Woo!
Yeah. Who's talking?
That was Sean. He was over on the couch laughing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to begin with, he's a comedian. I would never pull my penis out in front of a bunch of people. I mean, I would never even ask if I could. So, I mean, there must have been some little predilection that he had going for him. But
yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I don't think he should have lost his entire career over it. Do you?
No.
At UPS, it was male dominated. I mean, whether I was in the security department or whether I was in operations. And my partners and I used to say stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, and we knew each other's limitations. But, the guys were real protective over me if someone overstepped the line.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, I mean,
I'd have probably said, yeah, get the pepper and tweezers. Let's see if we can find it.
I just think we've had no recourse for the males in these situations, except for them to have to go out and hire a very high-priced lawyer and spend every penny they've got to defend themselves.
Well, what upsets me is why 3 or 4 years later, why didn't you say something when it happened? Oh, because of my career.
Yeah. And just the insinuation puts them out of work. And, I mean, I don't know about Louis C.K., but from what I hear of that story, I think it's kind of sad, actually, that he had to pull his penis out in front of some people, Right. But I don't think it's something that carries with it a sentence of permanent banishment from the industry,
I don't think he's permanently banned from the industry. I think he's still performing at some.
Well, he goes.
I mean, his career is definitely damaged.
Yeah,
sure.
He's just playing the clubs. I mean, look at what he had going for him. He was in movies.
Oh yeah.
He had a movie he directed that was being released. He had his TV shows. He not only had that TV show, but about 3 other TV shows he was producing, and now he's out of all of that, all because 3 women said he pulled his penis out in front of us. Come on. Yeah, part of the problem was he was in that first wave of Me Too shit.
Yeah.
If it had happened today,
was one of the women the one that was on Californication?
No.
She's a comedian.
No.
You know,
I know who you're talking about, and she's the one that does Better Things.
Oh,
and her problem is
Bill,
that
I heard that there was an incident in an office.
I did too.
Well, no, I didn't hear that about Louis C.K. It was a hotel room, while he someplace doing a gig. Okay, but anyway, I'm trying to remember the woman's name on Better Things. Let me look it up here, then I can.
I think Sarah Silverman said he jerked off in front of her a few times.
Yeah. She said he did, and they said, "How'd you feel about it?" And she says it was funny. So.
I guess
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Well, I still got electricity.
Pamela.
Hey, Phil, what you do is you go to your city's website and you find out the latest.
Pamela Adlin.
They've been lying to me for a day and a half.
Hey, it's Pamela Adlin is who you're thinking.
Yeah,
of.
that's it. Yeah.
And she got a show with, well, first she was on the Louis C.K. show. And then she got her own show, which was produced by Louis C.K., and he got it for her, all right, which was a good deal. And then when all this went down, she threw him to the wolves. She said, "Oh, that's horrible, that's terrible," because she was trying to save her own fucking career because he was the producer of her show. And she didn't want FX to fire her. And I thought that was kind of shitty because they had been friends for years. When he did his first show on HBO, she played his wife in the sitcom. When he went to FX with his show, she was hired on as a writer and was always part of that show. I mean, he carried her along with his career everywhere. And then when he gets into a little bit of trouble like this, rather than saying, "Hey, Louis C.K. is a stand-up guy," she threw him to the fucking wolves. Fuck you, Pamela Adlin.
There's karma, and she'll get her karma.
Well, she got an Emmy.
Remember what Howard did to you, and he got his karma, but at least he made up for it.
What was this?
Howard?
Stern?
Yes.
Yeah. What? What about Howard?
I said what he did to you, and I remember you telling me the whole thing, and I said that's okay because you know what? Karma's going to kick him in the ass, and it did. But bless his heart, he reached out to you, so he realized what he had done.
Well, wait a minute. How did it get to him?
Remember, Mel Karmason.
Yeah.
So isn't it Mel Karmason bought the station, and Howard said, "But you got to get rid of Bennett."
I don't know that for a fact. Okay.
I remember that crystal clear.
Boy, we're not getting a good signal on you at all, Bree.
Or it may be, kind of new age.
No, this is.
Lyrica.
Wait a minute. Let me see here if I can. I can't even find him on. Oh, there's Bree.
Side effect of Lyrica.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at. You should call us back. Look at that.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the old. You know what it looks like? It looks like the old days when you got HBO and you didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about that. Skype. What's the name of the Kathleen? What's the name of the TV thing that you have? Sling. I had Sling, and they've been getting rid of station after station, FX, CBS, Fox. So I gave it up, and I got Hulu for $45 a month, and it's got everything, and it's easier to navigate. I like it.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out.
That's the Hulu. That's a Hulu full service.
Right. So I got the Hulu full service.
That's great.
And I'm very pleased with it so far.
Do you get certain shows without commercials?
No.
Oh, because I pay for Hulu with no commercials.
I don't think that was an option on this, but this gave you it's like having regular cable TV.
I love it with no commercials. I pay $4 a month more, and there are no commercials. It's fine. I'm used to now watching TV shows without commercials.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and then I saw something. Clark Howard was talking about YouTube premium, not premium, but there's a YouTube TV that is similar to this Hulu one, and he says that that's the best one. But I don't know. I did I'll do this for a few months and see how I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out because I've heard a lot of good things about Hulu.
Yeah, because I had the $25 a month Sling, and it's not as good as it was, and there's other things now. And
well, we just lost Ray. I don't know what happened to Ray. We lost Ray.
I don't know.
So. His power went out.
That's a possibility.
No. Well, here's Bree back again. Okay, let me see here.
No. Okay, can someone explain to me how these rolling backouts in California are working and why it's happening?
Well, they're not working.
No, there we go. He's got the same problem, Bree. Got the same problem. Yeah,
are you using the Russian phone?
No, I'm
using.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Everybody, be quiet so we can hear him. What are you saying?
I'm using my Samsung, but I tried calling in yesterday from the beach, but I didn't get anybody.
That's because I wasn't doing the show.
Yeah, you missed an amazing view and an amazing time.
What
I'm now
country
just
are you
waiting.
In?
I'm in Boracay.
Yeah, but there's some problem you've got.
In the Philippines?
Who knows what this problem is? Wait a minute, let me show the audience so they can see it.
Boracay has great scuba diving.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't give a shit, Phil. We don't scuba dive.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm not coming through.
No, I don't know what
now I'm on the Wi-Fi.
It's like we've got this terrible signal from you. I don't know what that's about.
Having an acid flashback.
So you can't see the video at all.
No,
we see it in
we can see it, but we just saw 2 motorcycles go by, 3 motorcycles go by.
16 motorcycles.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really crappy.
Ray's back.
It's Ray's back.
Yeah,
Ray's back.
I was on Wi-Fi and I plugged my wire.
All right. Well, why don't I just turn the video off?
Yeah, I guess.
Am I frozen?
No, he's got a bad Wi-Fi signal.
Maybe your power went out.
Yeah.
Try one more time here.
Yeah.
Am I frozen?
No, you're fine.
On my screen, I am.
No.
How about now?
Nah, you were still getting
same
this.
thing, Bree.
It's hard to explain, but it looks kind of like, I described it as looking like HBO. Now we lost Ray again.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Ray.
No, Ray's still there.
I'm back. I'm frozen on my own screen.
What it reminded me of was in the 90s they had those books that you had look at this and
hologram.
You'll see the image.
Yeah, it looks like one of those, right?
I can never do it because with my eyes I can never see those things.
Actually, I finally was able to do it with those books.
That's what.
Yeah, I was able to do it with those books, but it was a matter of being able to really relax your eyes.
Yeah.
Everybody on the screen is wearing glasses.
Yeah.
But you remember the episode of Seinfeld where Elaine's boss is trying to look at those things and he couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's the same with me. It's the whole thing I've missed out on in life. I've never seen one.
Ray's got his hand up. Ray.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, I'm sorry to hear about Will.
Yeah.
I was. When did this happen?
Happened about 2 days ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I called him yesterday, and it happened the night before. What?
He was a guest for the San Francisco Mime Troupe 60th anniversary.
Where was that? Was that on Monday?
Yeah.
And then that's probably where it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably where it happened. I just, I don't, I wish him, God, I mean, I just, I feel so, I'd like to be able to do something, and there's nothing I can do. It's just nothing I can do. So,
well, for Michael Pritchard, when he had a heart attack, there was a GoFundMe, and I donated to it, and I think they raised $100,000. Michael Pritchard had a heart attack. And the GoFundMe raised $100,000.
Now I know what everybody's saying here. Who the hell is Michael Pritchard?
Well, he was a comedian,
I know.
and a social worker.
If you look at the picture of me at the Junior Olympics or the Special Olympics fun thing that we had at the Kabuki Theater, where I'm with Robin Williams, I'm with Jerry Seinfeld, I'm with Kevin Pollak, I'm with Dana Carvey. And then there's one tall guy I'm looking up at. That's Michael Pritchard. He's always the one where everybody goes, oh, Robin Williams, oh, Dana Carvey, oh, Kevin Pollak, oh, Jerry Seinfeld. Who's that?
He was a generous guy in that he worked with kids, and he did a lot for
something.
underprivileged kids.
I think that was wonderful up to a point.
Well, that was his thing.
The up to the point was the day I heard that somebody actually saw him in a hospital, looking at a kid wearing his clown outfit or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And looking down at the kid and saying, how do you feel about the fact you're going to meet God?
I never knew.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I went, okay, well, I'm through. I'm through with Michael Pritchard on that one. Well, what happened? The best Michael Pritchard story I have is we were in Union Square, and it was a Christmas thing, and they asked me to appear, so I appeared, and I'm standing next to Pritchard, and they start singing Christmas carols. And when they're singing, Dashing Through the Snow, I can sing that stuff, But then when you get to Oh Holy Night, or Round Yon Virgin with Mother and Child, Silent Night, that's where I draw the line as a Jew. I'm just not going to sing that song. I will stand there and be very reverent about it, but I'm not going to sing the fucking song. All right? So they go into Silent Night. And I preface this story by saying that Michael Pritchard, years earlier, had been a raging alcoholic, the worst kind. Nobody wanted to be in a room with him drunk because he was so horrible. And he had sobered up, okay? So they're singing Silent Night, and he looks over at me, and he says, hey, Alex, come on, sing. It couldn't hurt. And I said, Michael, have a drink. It couldn't hurt. That shut him up.
That's why you were such a nice guy.
I was a nice guy, but, don't try and flaunt your fucking religion on me, you know.
Come on, it's Christmas. Even this Jew would sing it.
As a Jew,
And
I cannot
sing.
sing "Round I'm Virgin" with mother and child sleep in heavenly peace.
Well, I don't know the words, so I just hum.
Yeah. What? I mean, if you want to go, you know, it's a, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm fine with all those songs. But when it gets to the Christmas carols, you know, oh come
Jesus.
all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Well, there I go singing it.
Last year was the first year we didn't celebrate Christmas, and it was so liberating.
Well, the best thing I ever did for Christmas was a Christmas card with Schmoody. And,
that's the best.
And 3 kids and a Christmas tree. We went to Sears and we got the cheesiest background they had. And we had them take a picture for a Christmas card.
From the time the flash went off, all hell broke loose.
Oh, the kids were crying and they were going crazy,
God,
and it was a major cluster fuck.
And those 6 pictures you could see the whole thing, because at one point you can tell that you're telling them to keep shooting.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, hey, listen. There's the theme song. God, went pretty fast tonight. It's nice when you're having fun. Hey, Bree.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling us.
Looks good.
I've never seen Kuala Lumpur look more beautiful than with what you're. There's got to be something wrong with the what do you call it?
I'm in Boracay.
Yeah, something wrong with
one of the best streets in the world, Alex.
You're the best.
Intercepting the signal.
Well, try us again tomorrow night when you're from somewhere else. You know.
Okay.
Listen, thank you to Kathleen. Always wonderful having you here, Schmoody. You know, nice feminine presence on the show. Plus your son off camera making comments about the adults. Let's see here. Thank you, Jeff. Good to have you back. Missed you.
Yes.
Phil, of course, always nice to see you. Always nice to see you, Ray. Always nice to see you, Dan. And it's always nice to see me as well. By the way, let's all give a big wave goodbye, and I will wave back at you, okay? There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. They were a good one. We had a good time tonight. We didn't even get into politics, which I think is always acceptable. Let me turn off my Skype, and let me say that the next show coming up here is Jack Bishop and the Exchange, and then I will be back here tomorrow night after Damian Chaplin does, he's going to do the Intersection. See? I got to quit this whole thing. I just don't do this well anymore. Damian Chaplin's on at 9:30 with the Exchange. The Intersection is next. And then after Damian, I'm on at 10 o'clock at night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, as always, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. See? I pushed the wrong button.